right. Welcome everybody. Let's go over live Q&A. Any questions, any thoughts, any comments? What is going on in your world as far as health concerns, health questions? What are you not getting answers to at your doctor? Go ahead and bring those, put those down below. Love to see you guys. Also, let me know where you guys are. Oh, let me go on here. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Love to see you all over the United States, all over the world. So yeah, keep those going. Let me go in over here. And okay, awesome. So yeah, put down below any questions at all. Health stuff, talking about digestion, talking about autoimmune, thyroid. Are you having diarrhea every day? Are you throwing up every day? What is your ferritin level? Are you anemic and your doctor's not giving you those answers? Let me know. Put that down below. And these calls usually go for about an hour. And there's tons. I usually don't even get through all the questions. So get your questions up early if you want them answered, because a lot of times I do not have time to get through all of the questions. But again, love seeing you guys. Put down below where you are watching from, and I will give you guys a shout out as well. All right, Mel, I have ankylosing spondylitis. And still get inflammation. Well, here's the deal, Mel. Ankylosing spondylitis, we look at that as an autoimmune disease. And for the average person that has one autoimmune condition, they have multiple. And so what we need to figure out is, why do you have this autoimmune condition in the first place? Because my mom had MS. She healed her MS, which is a miracle, but she did. She doesn't have MS anymore. My wife had autoimmune to her brain. She had autoimmune to her platelets, and they removed her spleen. You can have rheumatoid arthritis, you can have ulcerative colitis, all these different kinds, and yet it doesn't really matter what the end stage is, because your ankylosing spondylitis is affecting your spine. You're going to have issues there, but that's not ultimately the problem. The problem is the immune system attacking itself. So that's where you've got to go deep into the whys. Brittany, if you want to put a link to one of the YouTube videos that I have, tons of information on autoimmune. Check out my YouTube channel, over 700 videos, but we'll go in depth into, you've got to look at blood sugar and adrenals and leaky gut and estrogenic events and environmental toxins, all of these different things. And so if you're still getting inflammation, just being on a drug that's an immunosuppressant does nothing to fix the problem. All that does is squash the immune system, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem. So you've got to fix that. You've got to get deep. That's what we do. If you need help, if you need support, click that link, schedule that discovery call. We'd love to talk you through this process. But great question there, Mill. And we have menopause and weight gain. So this was on Facebook, menopause and weight gain. So I'm guessing that's not a question, that's a period. So I'm guessing the question there is, how do you fix weight gain during menopause? Well, again, you've got to look at all of these systems that are out of balance. And it's not just, oh, my hormones went defunct, or my testosterone went down, or my estrogen out of balance. That is not the whole reason why somebody has weight gain. So you have to look at that as this cumulative effect, that there's adrenals and there's thyroid and there's gut issues. And then your hormones are a little bit out of balance, and you've got to fix those. Can my husband stop taking a statin drug without causing any harm to himself? So Brenda, I can't tell you to start or stop taking a drug. I didn't prescribe that medication, so that's not my place. But here's what I do know people do, is if they fix why their cholesterol was up in the first place, if they get their blood sugar stabilized, if they get their inflammation down, if they make these dramatic changes in their life and their cholesterol starts going down, then why still being on a cholesterol medication? Why be on a blood pressure medication when you bring your blood pressure down naturally and you don't need that blood pressure medication? Why be on metformin when you fix your blood sugar and you don't need that metformin anymore? So here's the deal. Fix why he had high cholesterol in the first place, and you're going to see some massive changes there. Courtney, Parkinson's. Parkinson's is a tough one. There's definitely got to be some other reasons why somebody's not just this neurological random thing that happens. There's a lot of times a toxicity component to it. There's many other things that need to be dealt with. All right, type 1 diabetic, just waiting for the second disorder, laugh out loud. Teresa, yeah, you're probably wearing one of these, aren't you? So type 1 diabetic, that is an autoimmune disease, and she's saying waiting for the second disorder. You might already have it, and that's why even in our initial blood panel that we run with patients, ANA, rheumatoid factor, we're checking for Hashimoto's antibodies, both of them. If you don't know which one you have for Hashimoto's, you got to know which one is out of balance there. And so type 1 diabetic, even though you're type 1 diabetic, you do not have to go into that, oh, I'm going to crash from 50 to 350 and my blood sugar's all over. Our type 1 diabetics we work with, we're able to get them between 100 and 140, 90% of the time if they do what they need to do and eat the way that they need to eat there. So let's see, another question here. That's why I don't have take the medication. It makes me feel worse. Yeah, so again, you've got to fix that why. How did my mom heal from her MS? She had full-blown MS, had to go on disability, had to use a cane, got a wheelchair, all this stuff. And her last MRI, no more plaquing. She doesn't have MS anymore. She's now 79 years old, does Granny Boot Camp, takes my kids fishing, all kinds of stuff. So the body can heal. Do you know much about cyclic vomiting syndrome? Here's the deal, whether that's gastroparesis, cyclic vomiting syndrome, just some people that just are throwing up a bunch, it doesn't matter. You've got to fix the why. You've got to look at the entire digestive tract. Are they chewing their food well enough? Do they make enough saliva? Are they making enough stomach acid? Does it move through like it needs to into the small intestine? Are they absorbing, making enzymes? Are they having regular bowel movements, going every day? If you're not going every day, 1 to 3 times a day, and it looks like a peeled banana, you are not having optimal digestion. So yes, people that are vomiting every day, we've had multiple patients like that, and we can see dramatic changes from there. Lisa, hi from Crestview, Florida. Any suggestions for skin cancer? So Lisa, unfortunately, there's no magic natural cure. They talk about black solve and all these things, but unfortunately, if it's a big melanoma or big skin cancer on the arm or the face, things like that, you pretty much need to get that off. But when you're thinking about why cancer and why skin cancers happen, it's this oxidative stress. It's this we're free radicals. We're not clearing them out like we need to. So you need to be upping your antioxidants. You need to be stabilizing your blood sugar. But cancer is a metabolic condition. It's not a full-blown genetic thing. It's more metabolic. So you got to work through there. Hey, Monique, good to see you. And I was just diagnosed with functional neurologic disorder. This is Montana Mama, and cannot find a doctor familiar. So here's the deal. Chronic fatigue syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, fibromyalgia, functional neurologic disorder. There's no one test that you can go in and check this on. You can't go in and say, let me run blood work and then I'm going to diagnose you with functional neurologic disorder. When we get these disorders, when we get these, now you have fibromyalgia, there is no bacteria, there is no one thing that we're looking for. It's a clump of symptoms, and the doctor goes, well, you have an irritable bowel, so we're going to call it irritable bowel syndrome. We're going to write this code on there, so now we can code it for insurance and get your blood work covered, your medication covered, whatever it is. But that's not fixing anything. So to fix the functional neurologic disorders, you have to go back and figure out why somebody's neurology is messed up in the first place. And is that a brain thing? Is that a metabolic thing? Is that a gut-brain connection? Is it inflammatory? What is actually going on? So that's what I encourage you to do is, there's no magic cure for functional neurologic disorder, but there are cures for the underlying reasons why you get diagnosed with that. So great question. And again, I'm Dr. Ben Galliard, F8 Well Centers. We have offices in Colorado, offices in Tennessee, and we have doctors around the country working with patients remotely. And so we can get blood work anywhere in the country. You go into the lab, we get it drawn, and you're going to be able to get those results back in less than a week. And we sit down with you and go through line by line by line through there. Depression, how can I deal with it without medicine? This is Cynthia. So depression, again, same thought process. Depression is not just because it's a lack of serotonin. And that serotonin, that's SSRIs, that's Prozac, those Lexapro, all of those different things. It is not because of lack of serotonin. If anything, we got more serotonin receptors in our gut than we do our brain. So we need to actually be working on our gut more than we do our brain. But you've got to think about why somebody has that depression in the first place. The brain needs oxygen and it needs glucose. So if you're anemic, if your ferritin is under 40, if your glucose, especially going hypoglycemic, going low blood sugar, you are not going to be functioning well in the brain. If a lot of people, it's actually an anxiety state that then they get overwhelmed and it spills over into depression. If you have not had what's called a brain map done yet, we do brain maps in all of our offices, and then if appropriate, we do a neurofeedback technique that helps train those brainwave patterns. We can even do that remotely with patients. So you've got to get to the underlying why. It's not a lack of Prozac. It's not a lack of Lexapro. It's not even a lack of 5-HTP or St. John's wort or whatever naturally. That's not the cause. It's going to be coming from these underlying issues. All right, we've got a few more over here. And Melissa, complete hysterectomy in 2009. I've taken some estrogen replacement therapy since. Last year and a half have been crazy. Hot flashes. Any thoughts? Why? Yes, so here's the deal. Your adrenal glands produce some of the estrogens. And so when you go through full-blown, take it all out. So complete hysterectomy is uterus and ovaries. Partial is just uterus, leave the ovaries. Ovaries produce estrogens, things like that, but also a quarter of your testosterone actually comes out of your ovaries. So you're missing half of your testosterone production. You're missing a lot of your estrogen production now, but the adrenals are the ones that are going to be taking over that slack when someone goes through menopause. So if you have major stressful events like going through COVID, or maybe your kids were at home and you were stressed out trying to teach your homeschool your kids when you're not a teacher. You went through a divorce or your job change. You have some major stressor. I would almost guarantee your adrenals have bit the dust, and that's where you've got to dig deeper. Thanks for the question, Melissa, on YouTube. Good to see you. Thank you for answering my question. Working with you is helping me so much. Hoping we can visit again soon, Dr. Ben. You are so welcome. And sorry, all it says is Facebook user, so I'm sorry I do not see your name on there. Do you recommend those continuous glucose monitors to see what spikes our blood sugar? Do I recommend it? What do you think? What do you think? Does that look like a continuous glucose monitor? Yeah, I've worn it probably 6 months out of the last 12 months. The CGMs, every one of our new patients that starts care gets a continuous glucose monitor. So Emily, do I recommend those? I don't just recommend them, I insist on them. If you're gonna work with me or one of my F8 doctors around the country, you are going to wear a continuous glucose monitor. It's a game changer. We used to finger prick glucose monitor for years. We did that 4, 6, 8, 10 times a day. And you can do that. You can get a kit for $40, go start poking your finger. And we did it. We reversed diabetes. We changed lives. Beautiful things happened. And yet, once we were able to get the continuous glucose monitor, I can go on here, and right now I look at my watch and it says 88. That's where my glucose is right now. Perfect, exactly where I want it to be. I feel good, I've got energy. So it is an absolute game changer. Check out my book on Amazon, Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. Talk all about this. And yeah, we were doing glucose monitoring years ago. Now a lot of other people are finally catching up, but and let's go here. How much do those cost? So the cost for the continuous glucose monitor is included in our program. If you go through insurance and type 1 diabetics, they're usually $1,000 to $2,000 per month, but we're able to get them a lot cheaper. Where do you buy those monitors? So they are prescription only. So you have to go through a pharmacy and get that and actually have a prescription. Hey, Veronica from Northern California, good to see you. How do I get the glucose monitor? Click the link in the bio, schedule that discovery call, and you're going to see massive changes once we sit down, run the blood work, figure out exactly what is going on. So the glucose monitoring is, it's really one of our foundational pieces. The technology we use with the Dexcom G6, with the neurofeedback, so many different things that we're looking at. And what type of monitor do you recommend? My husband hated his last one. So it was probably a Libre that he didn't like, but this is a Dexcom G6, and they're actually getting ready to come out with a G7, a Menadyne. So at F8, we practice what's called functional medicine. What type of doctor are you? We practice what's called functional medicine, getting to the underlying root cause, getting to the real source of why somebody's having an issue. I don't want to cover up a symptom. If you're not sleeping, I don't want to just give you melatonin. I don't want to just go, oh, here's this supplement to, instead of taking a drug to cover up a symptom, we need to fix the system. So we practice a systems-based approach. Are your adrenals off? Your thyroid, your liver? Do you have leaky gut? Is your microbiome off? Is your brain out of balance? All of these different things, and we go through step by step through that process. What can we take to support adrenals? I am 55. Hey, Carol. So again, continuous glucose monitor. Number one stressor to the adrenals is blood sugar swings, especially the dips. So every time your blood sugar goes down too low, it stresses out the adrenals. They have to stimulate the liver to kick out glucose. So we go adrenals, adrenals, adrenals. Another thing you need to do is you need to get a brain map done and see what your alpha wave is. Alpha wave is meditation, mindfulness, shavasana, and yoga, all of those things. If that alpha is up too high, you are not going to be calming down. You're going to be in fight or flight. You're going to be revving up your adrenals. So you can take things like ashwagandha, rhodiola. You can take a bunch of adrenal things. Brittany, go ahead and send Carol a link for the daily adrenal on the Well Store, and it's one of my favorites. Two twice a day, and huge thing. My husband's testosterone is 1,096. Is that bad? Marianne, interesting. Most guys, 50 or 500 to 600 is really good. Unless he's on testosterone, I don't see. We run testosterone on every single patient. I mean, that's a pretty extreme number. Let me know if he's taking testosterone. I have severe vitamin D deficiency. What to take? D or D3. So you want to take the D3 with K would be great, and even some vitamin A with it would be really good as well. A lot of people, it takes up to 10,000 a day to get them where they need to be. Blood pressure of 92/52 is not good. It's not healthy. That is very, very low. You are not going to be getting your blood flow to your extremities like you need to, and your brain is one of the extremities. So this is the fallacy in traditional medicine. Is high is bad, everything else is good. We'll try this. Go squat down and then stand up really quickly and see if you feel good with a low blood pressure. That is a low blood pressure, and there are reasons why. It is not pathology. You're not going to get diagnosed. There's no medication that's going to fix that, but you have to look at your adrenal glands. The adrenal glands give tone to the blood vessels. And so if your blood pressure is under 100 over 70, let's say, or even 110 over 70, you are not going to be getting oxygen to your tissues, and you are going to be having serious problems. So 92/52 is not okay. Marissa, hi, I'm from Coalfield, Tennessee. I'm asking this question on my mom's behalf. She has had vestibular nerve damage since last year and was diagnosed with BBPV. She has been constantly dizzy and nauseated. She has been to vestibular therapy. Do you have any recommendations for vestibular health at all? So I would say, what is the damage from? That would be the biggest thing. If it's coming from a viral infection, that's a common thing that can happen where we get those viruses in there, and we'll see some of those issues. So then you have to deal with the virus because it could still be causing some problems in there. So I would look into even some cold laser therapy. And if you can look up a functional neurologist, that's what they specialize in, actually rebuilding, repairing, not just giving out some drugs in the neurology world. Pamela, opinion on NAC and NADH supplements. NAC, great. We have a lot of patients do NAC. It's a precursor to glutathione, as well as really good for the immune system, preventing COVID, things like that. NADH, sure. You've got to get it in the right way. You've got to get it in an injectable form, and you got to feel really bad with it. It's not a fun one to do, but some people feel good with it. But for me, there's way bigger fish to fry. You've got to fix your blood sugar and your liver and your gut and all these other things first before going down that path. If you're great on everything else, then you can start doing some specialty things like that. Margie, IBS with D. Those are a lot of initials, right? IBS with D. So irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea. So here's the deal. They can clump irritable bowel syndrome in with diarrhea, with constipation and diarrhea. So again, it's just a clump of a term that you just throw it in and go, well, I don't know what's really causing what. We'll just label it this so then we can get you covered. So here's the deal. IBS with diarrhea, you've got to figure out why. I've got an 18-year-old girl. She's in college in Nebraska. She just started this year. She has had diarrhea since she was like 8 years old. She had 4 stress fractures her junior and senior year of high school playing basketball because she's so malnourished from having so much diarrhea. In the first 4 weeks, we got her down to having solid stools. She had a week of it, had a little flare up, and another week of solid stools. First time since she was 8 years old that she had solid stools. Her anxiety's almost gone. Absolutely life changed. And I just talked to her on Tuesday actually, and she's changing her whole career path, going to go down functional medicine avenue, and just wanted to chat about that as well. And so what did we do? Well, we just started on the basics. You start by getting them to digest better. You change that microbiome. You start working on the immunoglobulins. That is all fixable stuff. If you're not getting the answers, if it's not just some magic drug fixing you, click that link and schedule the discovery call. We would love to talk you through this process. Have you treated long COVID patients? Absolutely. A lot of long COVID patients. POTS, where they stand up and get dizzy, hair continues to fall out, all types of things. It's a chronic inflammatory condition at that point. And so we just go about, go through that process. Do you look at MTHFR gene with your blood work? This is tree 451. So here's the deal. We don't run that in our blood work. It's not a needle mover. If somebody does come in with the methylation defect in their genetics, and this is for anybody who doesn't know this, that's the B12, the folic acid, the methylation defect there. It's not a game changer. If someone just goes and takes some methylated Bs, 90% of them are not going to see this miracle thing happen, especially if they don't fix their blood sugar, if they don't fix their gut, if they don't fix their liver, if they don't fix their brain. So it's not a needle mover. The things that we test are going to be, they're going to be looking at, hold on just a second here. So the things that we're going to be looking at are going to be needle movers. What can we actually do that is going to change somebody's life? We don't do a food allergy test right off the bat because what are you going to do? Take out 40 foods that show up, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I can't eat anything. But that's not going to make a difference. My husband's glucose levels keep going up and down, can't figure out what's causing spikes. So this is what you need. You need a continuous glucose monitor. Put it on him and you're gonna be able to see exactly what happened. My office manager just put one on a couple days ago, and she had leftover, one of the kids brought home half of a burrito with beans and rice, and spiked up, hit almost 160 in the middle of the night, and we can see it went down, and then it came back up again in that second spike because the body kicked out insulin, pulled glucose out of the bloodstream, but there's not enough, and then the glucose went back up again, and then that second spike, she actually woke up, lied there for an hour and a half, and could not get back to sleep. She feels puffy today, just really, so anybody's coming to the office, give her a hard time for that half of a burrito. But now she knows, and she's like, well, I knew that probably wasn't good for me, but I actually see it now. And here's the deal, you can't finger prick all night long, and that's where we were missing with a lot of people. So here's what you do. You don't go take metformin, you don't go take alpha lipoic acid or berberine or any of these different things. You go in and process through, all of these other things. Where are you located? We have offices in Colorado, Denver, and Fort Collins, and then in Nashville. But we work with patients all over the world, and so we can get blood work anywhere in the United States. We can get you guys blood work. Get the draw. We look at autoimmune markers, hormones, adrenals, thyroid, inflammatory markers, Hashimoto's, full thyroid, all types of different things. And let's go here. What monitor do you have? It's the Dexcom G6. And let's jump down here. Does your blood work check for everything? Everything! Well, no, it doesn't check for everything, Coco. Everything is a lot. So we could check for everything. It'd be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but for a few $100s, we're able to run all of the blood sugar markers that we need. We're able to run all the markers that we need to see if somebody's got leaky gut, all the markers we need to see if somebody has major thyroid issues or hormone imbalances or all different things. Can you do blood work in Canada? Yes, we're just getting switched over with another company that's going to be way easier. I'm specifically doing this for Cinnamon 855 for you Canadians because it's definitely been an issue for us to get that blood work and for you guys to be able to just go into a lab. Emily, it says the Calendly is not valid. Brittany, can you take a look at that and give Emily and everybody else? What an amazing testimony. Love that you changed that young woman's life. Yeah, she's just like, she looks like the picture of health. When she came in, I'm like, you're probably 135 pounds, bigger guns than me and all this. And yet, she's like not barely able to go to college. Hi, my friend always has her blood platelets low. Why could that be? So one of the things, Todd, you need to look at ITP, idiopathic thrombocytopenia, which is where the body autoimmune is starting to attack those platelets. So make sure it's not autoimmune. They will want to remove her spleen, but we've prevented people from having to have their spleen out. Can I use my HSA to pay for your services? Absolutely, Emily. Can you speak to collagen and gut health? Do you believe it helps with leaky gut along with eliminating offenders? Yeah, so collagen, bone broth, some of those things, absolutely. But if that's all you do is just drink a bunch of collagen or bone broth and don't change your diet, don't do other things to calm down the inflammation, you are not going to fix it. Do you also test for Lyme disease? We can. It's not the first place we start. Lyme, I've had Lyme, my wife's had Lyme, my mom's had Lyme. I'm very familiar. And yet, when you go down that rabbit hole, that's a tough one to come out of and not focus on all these other basic things. So even our Lyme patients, we start with the basics first. Hey, Monique, good to see you. And let's go here. 61 husband has chronic hives. So again, here's symptom line. And so many things are stacked up, it doesn't take much to get over that symptom line, and he's pretty much over it all the time. You've got to get this inflammation down. You've got to go through this process. Hey, in Michigan there, how do you get the information? Click my link in the bio and you can schedule a discovery call, or our website, f8wellcenters.com. You can check out me there, check out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We've got over 700 videos. We've got doctors all over the country. You check adrenaline levels, yes. So you need to check cortisol, you need to check DHEA, and figure out what's going on through there. So we check that on every one of these. How do I get to see you? Cinnamon855. Click the link in the bio, schedule that discovery call, and we would love to talk to you guys. Can you say something about an elevated D-dimer CT chest clear? So you've got inflammation, Carrie, you or whoever it is. So absolutely, there's some type of inflammatory process going on, and you've got to dig deep into where that is coming from. What are neutrophils, Marie Dawn? Neutrophils are immune system cells that go up when we have bacterial infection. So the vast majority of the times that we see neutrophils high, and I don't like them over 58%, is with gut bacterial infections. So you've got to figure out why. Sometimes there's a tooth infection, sometimes there's a sinus infection, but most of the time it's a gut infection. You've got to figure out where that's coming from if your neutrophils are high. And here's the deal. If it says high in the blood work, our range is a lot more narrow. They might say 70, 72%, but ours is 58%. So if you're high in their range, you're really high. You've got a major infection. Would love all that blood work, Sherry Berry. Click that link in the bio, and we can get that anywhere in this country. You'll be able to get blood work done. Debbie in Florida, good to see you. And Coco, thank you. Going to order my blood work from you next week. Sweet, Coco. Love to sit down with you, either myself or one of our F8 doctors, and we will go line by line and let you know exactly what you need to be doing. Where do you sign up? Debbie, so just click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call. This is Sierra Blue. Do back stimulators work for pain? Maybe. You know, it depends on the person. I had a patient, she had shingles 13 times by the time she was 27. Horrible nerve pain all the time, almost paralysis of one leg. She had a back nerve stimulator. Wire went up under her skin. You could feel it under there, the creepiest thing ever. And it kind of helped. I mean, she still was in a lot of pain, but her body actually rejected it, started pushing it out through the skin. It was really yucky. Here's the deal. Some people, they have had such damage, they were crushed under a train car, you know, some horrific things, and no amount of therapy or natural or surgery or whatever is going to end up repairing that damage. But for most people, you've still got to fix that inflammation. You've got to calm things down. And butterfly kisses. What do I do to check for MMS? I'm not sure if you're saying MS or I'm not sure what MMS is, but MS, you know, it's a MRI or CAT scan. You're looking for plaquing on the brain or spinal cord, and yeah, that's the biggest tester for that. If you're having like foot drop and, you know, losing grip on things, there's a good chance you might have MS. But remember, MS can be fixable. My mom reversed it. We've had multiple patients reverse their plaquing, and it's amazing what can actually happen. So IBS can cause hair loss. IBS, if you're not absorbing your nutrients as well as you should be, and you've got this IBS. Again, IBS is not a disease; it's a label. But if you're not absorbing, if your digestion is off enough, sure, you could be malabsorbing. What is POTS? I've been dizzy upon standing since COVID. Yeah. So search POTS. This is CHA 18. Odds are yes, that is POTS. That's this. But what is that? That's just when you stand up and change positions, that orthostatic pressure doesn't shift like it's supposed to. Basically, we're supposed to squeeze blood back up to the brain, and so you get dizzy because that blood is not being pushed back up to the brain like it's supposed to. Look at your adrenals. The adrenals give tone to your blood vessels, one of the first places. But we've helped many, many people with POTS. Diane Butler, what would you recommend for a 4-year-old with eczema? So Diane, here's the deal. Eczema in kids, I'm really passionate about because this is going to turn into an autoimmune condition if they are not improved. If they don't change this process, eventually they will get autoimmune. So what does that mean? Well, you got to start glutamine for the gut. You got to look at food allergens. You got to take out all the dyes, all the processed foods. No more mac and cheese. No more chicken nuggets. No more goldfish. Any of those things. You got to eat real food. Work on the gut, and yeah, that's actually a pretty easy one. Opinion about lightheadedness after my period. It happened yesterday after I completed a 2-mile walk. Yesterday was the last day of my period. I am 40. Katie, go get what is called ferritin tested. Ferritin is going to be your stored iron. 99% sure you have low ferritin. But here's the deal. Most people go, oh, it's because I have heavy periods. But if you were absorbing, if your gut was working perfect, all those things, you should still be able to handle a heavy period. So don't just go, oh, it must be from my period, I'm going to go on a birth control pill. You've got to look at your gut. If you have low ferritin, almost for sure you're going to be having those. I'm excited to get my new brain map to help us figure out even more. Yes, let's get that brain map done. All right, keep asking those questions. Causes for low white blood cell count and high lymphocytes for the last 2 years. Awesome. This is 19 Ashley 89. This is the easiest question of the day. If you have low white blood cell count and you have high lymphocytes, you have a chronic viral infection. I don't know which one. I'm going to guess, and it's probably Epstein-Barr virus, EBV, which is the monovirus, but it's going to be chronic because if white blood cell count is low, that's chronic. If white blood cell count is high, over 8, that's going to be an acute infection. So if it's low, that's chronic. And that means that, okay, neutrophils, we already went over that, that's bacterial. Lymphocytes is viral. So if you're having a high lymphocyte and a low white blood cell count, that is a chronic infection driven by a viral load in the body that's been like, the body's going. Look at your liver enzymes as well. AST and ALT, if you're over 20, it's now causing liver stress as well. So you've got to build up that immune system. You've got to go through, work on the liver, work on the adrenals, all of these different things. Hey, Gabriel Miranda, good to see you. And have you ever solved widespread itching after allergy testing and avoidance diet didn't help? Yeah, Mamerlot. So here's the deal. If you're having widespread itching, eczema, psoriasis, anything, you can't just look at avoidance diet. You can't just go, you know what? I took out gluten and dairy and it did not fix it. The gut is so much more complex than that. Most skin issues, itching, psoriasis, all of these things is going to be a gut-based issue. So you've got to look at that digestive tract. Are you chewing your food like you need to? Are you eating in a relaxed environment? Are you not drinking fluids with your meals? Are you making enough stomach acid? Do you have enough pancreatic enzymes? Is your gallbladder working? Is your liver kicking out bile like it's supposed to? All of these different things. That's where just an avoidance diet is not going to fix the whole thing. Abby Hunt, Mayo told me I have fibromyalgia. Whoop-de-doo, again, fibromyalgia is not a disease. It's a, I don't know what it is. So you're in pain and you're inflamed, and so I'm going to label you with fibromyalgia. I am also anemic and have been since 2007. Can you guys help me? I've already paid for the initial visit, just worried I will not be able to help. I'm in Highlands Range, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. That's the stuff that we work on all the time. Dr. Katie down in Highlands Ranch, she's amazing, great team down there. So yeah, we're gonna get this figured. And here's the deal. Here's my promise to you. if me or any one of my FA doctors do not feel like we're going to be able to make changes, we don't need to just be, oh, let's work with everybody, even though we're not going to get the massive changes. The people we want to work with are the ones that are motivated, that are going to put the work in, that we truly feel we can help, that it's going to be a life-changing process. And so you have inflammation, you're anemic for a reason, and it's not just you need iron, and these are things that we help all the time. So yes, you're in the right place, and if we can help you, we'll let you know. If we cannot, then we'll go from there. Hey Emily, can you help with chronic headaches and migraines? We help people all the time with chronic headaches and migraines. So, but you got to figure out why. You got to get the inflammation down. You got to make those changes. So, and Jessica on Facebook, for going on 3 years now, I have dealt with random tingling, then complete numbness on my left side. I lose vision, get lightheaded, heart pounds, lose hearing in left ear, feel heat spread through my chest. It happens randomly. No changes in diet, exercise. I've seen cardiologists, neurologists, had multiple ER trips, and seen 4 doctors. I went through every test available through them with 0 answers. Labs come back fine. Heart tests fine. Neurologist tests fine. My current doctor feels, and we cut off. So Jessica, that obviously, if the blood work really is good, if there's really no reason why, I would look for a functional neurologist. Let me know where you live, and we might know somebody in that area. And so a functional neurologist, kind of like functional medicine, is going to look at neurology from a why component, not just giving you a drug, not just doing a surgery, but giving you the tools, fixing the underlying reasons why that neurology is out of balance. And if it truly is a neurologic issue, that will get better. Dominique on Facebook, can leaky gut or IBS cause foot psoriasis? So remember, I just said this, psoriasis, eczema, skin issues, anything like that, you've got to look to the gut first. So absolutely. I've been trying to heal this 7 years, cut most sugar out and adjust diet and toxin exposures, added MSM and vitamins, but something seems off still, possibly had unknown onion sensitivity. I'm working on figuring out, but the foot rash is still there. My doctor pushed off my concerns for candida, so I've been healing myself for the past 2 years. So here's the deal. When we see somebody come, and I've had psoriasis patients like full on, legs peeling, their hands, I've got pictures where there's like full, splits and bleeding and all types of things. And, really within 30 to 60 days, you should see massive change in that. If it's taking you 2 years or 7 years, whatever, you're still missing the why. And that's what we do all the time. Let's get that blood work run. Let's do that comprehensive evaluation. It takes about an hour and a half to go through all the paperwork. We're just going to figure out every little detail of what's out of balance, and then we go. And let's say, let's start working. So let's move through there. All right. But can you solve issues caused by chronic virus like EBV when there's no cure? Sure, absolutely. We help people with chronic viruses all the time. So yes, you actually can. Can you treat OCD? So one of the first things that you need to do is get, this is Sherry, you need to get a brain map done, a quantitative EEG. We have them in our Fort Collins, Denver, Nashville offices. Come into one of those. We have patients drive or fly in from all over the country. Get a brain map done. We'll see if it's truly a brainwave pattern disorder, and then we can give you tools to correct that. So OCD, absolutely, we see that change all the time. I have slow metabolism, take thyroid medication, can't lose weight. Well, why is your metabolism slow? Is it just thyroid? Probably not, because if that's all it was and you were taking thyroid medication, you would lose weight. So it's not, so let's throw thyroid out of the equation. Now let's look at blood sugar, let's look at testosterone, let's look at hormones, let's look at inflammatory pathways, let's look at digestion, all of these other things, Melissa, and that's how you're gonna see these changes. Any changes or any suggestions for gastroparesis, vagus nerve damage? Diane Campbell-Smith. So here's the deal. We see gastroparesis all the time. If you guys don't know what gastroparesis is, it's horrific. People are throwing up literally every single day or multiple times a day. It's horrible. And we'll see it for a year, 2 years, whatever. The vagus nerve comes down from the brainstem, and it tells the digestive tract to actually move. So if you're constipated, you probably have vagal nerve issue. But if you have vagus nerve damage, I'd like to know what the damage is actually from. Is it actually a physical damage, or they just think it's not working as well as it should? One of my favorite things, just as a treatment, is PEMF. So you just Google PEMF, local practitioner, whatever. You put the coils on the abdomen, and it actually fires that digestive tract, and it'll actually stimulate that vagus nerve. So, yep, I've had a millennial boy mom, I've had chronic EBV. What are the best supplements to help get energy to live life? Well, here's the deal. You have to make, millennial boy mom, you have to make sure every single system is working as well as possible. Your blood sugar, your digestive tract, your liver, your thyroid, everything else, because that EBV, yes, it's going to be a virus in your body forever. And if you get depleted, if your stress gets up too high or anything else, you are not going to be able to fight it off, and then you're going to get more issues, and it's going to be this yo-yo over and over and over. So some of the best supplements, sure, you can do some lysine, you can do some NAC, some glutathione, some different things to help build that up, but really you've got to focus on building your body up more than anything else. And Billy, good morning, Dr. Ben. This is a YouTuber. We are getting a Zoom call from Dr. Anderson for Kenny blood work this afternoon. Excited to see how you are going to help him. Awesome, Billy. Great to see you, Dr. Katie Anderson in the Denver office. She is amazing. She is a serious, hard-nosed doctor that wants to change every life she comes across. So what Billy's talking about there is we run blood work. They're in Arizona. Our doctor's in Denver, and we run blood work anywhere in the country. Easy process. We'll get that drawn, get the results in a week, sit down with you, and let you know exactly what is going on. So Billy, I am excited for your husband and to get Kenny his life back. I guarantee you, whatever is going on, there are going to be reasons why. And that's what we're going to point out, and we're going to show you that, and then we start moving our feet. And so I will be right there with Dr. Anderson. We have weekly calls. We communicate every single day via digital communication as well about patients. So I am right there throughout this entire process. Freddie, last question, then I got to jump, guys. How do you reverse diabetes? This is the easy part. This is the easy part. See this? This is a continuous glucose monitor. A continuous glucose monitor tells you continually, 24/7, what your blood sugar is. Do more of the good stuff, do less of the bad stuff. Yes, we have to do things to reverse insulin resistance and fix your liver and get your inflammation down and work on your gut and all those other things that have also gone out of balance with this. But when you get that continuous glucose monitor on, you are going to know exactly what to do. We take you by the hand, we walk you through this process. So here's the deal, guys. F8 Well Centers, Denver, Fort Collins, Tennessee, remotely all over the country. This is what we do. I'm not like a researcher. I'm not a supplement salesman. We are practitioners. Our number one objective is to take people by the hand and walk them through the process of getting their life back. I don't have any other sales, anything else that we're looking at doing. We just are here to help people live their highest life. Just like the 18-year-old girl that was having chronic diarrhea since she was 8 years old, barely was able to go to college, horrible anxiety. 4 weeks in, we're like 6 or 8 weeks now, but at 4 weeks in, she was having solid stools, anxiety almost gone, life is back to normal. She's so motivated, so changed. She's changing her career path so that she can go down this path of functional medicine. That's what I want you to have. I want you to come out of this program having the best experience possible, being a raving fan and telling everybody, oh my gosh, that they changed my life. That's what we get to do. It's a beautiful thing. If you need that kind of change, if you need that support, if a loved one needs that support, click the link in the bio, schedule that discovery call. We've got links all through Facebook, through YouTube, f8wellcenters.com, YouTube 700 videos. Educate yourself. My goal just with the education process is to give you every tool you possibly can to heal yourself. And if you can't do it or or don't want to do it yourself, come see us. We're here for you. So our job is to change the face of healthcare. And that's what we look for every single day. Love you guys. If you need support, if you need help, click any of those buttons, contact us whatever way you need to. And if you have more specific questions, I didn't get to them, sorry again. There's 37 new ones here on TikTok. There's 10 more on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry guys, I gotta run, I got patience, but love helping every single one of you. Take care, guys.